Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you our next speaker, the one and only from the Deponzi, and that's her company that she actually owns, and she's been doing a lot with that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage Miss Dinah Bonzi. Yeah, there she goes. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. My name is Dinah, and thank you so much for coming, all of you. Today, I've been in the banking sector for almost 12 years now, and today I'll talk about innovation in banking. But before I do that, there's one little idea that I'm hoping that somebody comes up with a plan. I went to Colombo thinking I was going to dash in and dash out, and I spent the whole day. So if somebody could come up with an idea that would make it short, so I could go and spend just 2 hours and come back. If somebody would come up with that idea, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, back to this. When I first started working at the bank, we had to go through training in the banking hall. I work in the IT department, and we had to go through training in the banking hall, going through every banking process. And I'm going to talk about the account opening process, which made an impact on me. In the account opening process, we call it Know Your Customer. They will ask you questions like, what is your address? Now in Ghana, what kind of question is this? Are you talking about my street address? Is there a street name where I live? You know, the houses and the squatters and the one rooms and stuff. And it's usually, I always believe that it is usually those who don't have the permanent address, who are living in somebody's room, who are in the squatters, or who are even young and just renting a room or something. They're the ones who need the bank accounts the most. Because you need to be able to put your money in the bank and use an ATM to take only what you need and not keep all your salary with you. But then they ask you questions like, where do you live? What is your street address? Is it your own home or not? You know, whose address are you going to use? Sometimes the person's house that you live in, the person won't give you permission to use their address in the account opening process. They ask you, who do you know in the bank that will recommend you to the bank? Is the bank gaining from me? Are you doing me a favor for opening my account? You know? And then they ask me, where do you work? Where do you work? How can anybody define? Most people can define where you work. They want your work address. They want your boss's name, your boss's contact. Your phone number. The phone number keeps changing, and then they want your landline number. Now, these are questions that are asked at account opening. And then they'll ask you, are you married? What kind of marriage? Do you mean engagement or real wedding marriage? Do you mean people living together and having children? You know, what date were you married? You need to provide all this information. Then birth certificates. I know people, and it's not just old people, young people who don't have birth certificates, who don't even know when they were born. They keep guessing, I think it was this, and I think it was that. But we all need that in the account opening. I talked about mobile numbers, how many mobile numbers people have. People keep changing their numbers all the time. They give you one number, you call it, and they call you with a different number all the time. And then you have to bring ECG bills. Now the ECG bills has changed. We used to have the one that they send you a bill. And then we had the one that they put the card in. Now the one that I have is they send me text. And even that, you know how much the bill is. And then even with the do so, now it's like the light is off and the bill is higher than it's ever been. And it is not in your name and they're asking you to bring a bill. Do you see what I mean? And water bills. But we call all that Know Your Customer. They will ask you for your occupation, what you do. I think I mentioned that already. But my point of innovation is, if somebody could just open some kind of company that would just get these details, your first name, your middle name, your last name. Because sometimes our names don't have last names. And then they have middle names, or they have, a whole family will have different last names. So you need to know your first name, your middle name, your last name, your date of birth, all of it, the date, the month, the year. We need to know if it's a company, the date you were incorporated. We need to know your mailing address and your living address. Sometimes people will draw a map to show the directions to where they live at, which is also good. But if the bank didn't have to do it, and there was a company that would do all this research and then rank people so that anybody would go to this place, have their names and address and everything verified. And hopefully the bank too will certify that they'll work with this company. Take the name and address and come to the bank. So that anybody, even the person who's pulling stuff at the market, you know, the taxi driver, even you, the young people, even adults, not everybody wants to go through the long process. Because, you know, as you get it right at the beginning, it trickles down. It trickles down to wanting a loan. It trickles down to money laundering. It trickles down to your credit rating. It trickles down to so many things. But if you get it wrong, and even for those who keep moving around, you just update it with that company. You don't have to go to every bank and update everywhere you're going. You know, because sometimes when you keep moving around, your credibility is also gone. And then this time, you find the banks coming to you because you know what they're doing. They're also going to these people and look at, who are these people? And then they'll check and see, do we have accounts with them? Then they come chasing after you. Then now you can decide, do I want to this bank or that bank or this bank or that bank? You know? And then it will avoid those long lines. Those long lines, I don't know. It's like you have to pray before you go in there. You need to have patience. You go and say, Jesus, I know you're with me. And you sit through all that. But we can avoid all that with everything done before we go into the bank. So, like I said, what if you want a loan? Now I'm even thinking, after this is done, and we all have our information, you can even go online to apply for a loan. That's like a dream in Ghana. You can go online to open an account. You can go, and if there's an appointment, all you have to do is go there. And yeah, it will start even when your income, when you get a loan and you make your payments, it will be able to track how often you make your payments, if you make it on time. You know, it checks a lot of things if you get it right in the first place. Yes, so this is called Know Your Customer, and hopefully somebody will come up with an idea for it. So you can do everything online. You go online, you fill your forms and everything, and then they'll give you a date when you come to the bank for an appointment, and you just come. And even this will not only apply to the bank eventually, because as a bank, all the banks approve this process. As all the banks approve this process, and then it becomes a general thing. You see that other parts of the country, hopefully West Africa, hopefully all of Africa, and maybe even internationally, will start going according to this. And I'm even thinking we'll be able to rank the address level. You know, happy customer, and then when you are happy, I mean, if you have control and the banks are coming to you, you tell people, and then you tell the one, whichever the banks are doing their best, I mean, are doing things to keep you. And then it's like marketing, free marketing, just the banks are coming up to you. And I was also thinking, okay, this is what I mean by the pre-screening, account open, we save the banks for it. And I'm even thinking internationally, yeah, we have challenges in Ghana, we all know about that, our addresses, our birthdays, our utility bills, and we could collect as much information into a standard application. That's what I'm hoping that somebody will bring out. And to determine what kind of, and I'm thinking like, if you have an account, that your name, we have your first name, your middle name, everything, your address, everything, then maybe we'll rank your account to 1. But if you're one who is changing your address every month, then maybe you'll be ranked 5. And as you get stable, then you move down to 3 or something. Because you know, as we get older, we get more stable, we even buy a house, and so then that's even more permanent. Yeah, of course, we all have an entry, the way because one company is doing it, it's a standard. So everybody else has the same information. And customers who compete with you, even internationally. I'm sorry, I went ahead of my slides. So it's like I have to catch up. And it would be nice to go online and apply for loans. And it will be faster because now the lines in the banking hall is reduced. So like I said, it will be ranked, it will be credible, and then your references will be checked. We can add references, but it's not necessary to add references. I'm more thinking basic customer, your contact information. If I want to reach you right now, where would you be? That's basically what I'm thinking. So there's endless possibilities if someone would come up with something like this. Thank you.